All right, shalom, shalom, Israel is brother Kazak Magun. First and foremost, all honor and glory to the Most High YAHWEH, by Hashem Yahushai, right? This will be a quick code cut. I'm gonna show you some ways on how to prove through the scriptures and through prophecy and history as well, to prove that the so-called Jewish man, the white Jewish man, that he's not the real Jew, that he's not the true children of Israel, right? First, let's go to the classic. It's Revelation 2:9. It says, I know thy works and tribulation and poverty, right? So that point right there where it says poverty, that's a key point right there. Because it said the real Jews are being in poverty right now, man. The real Jews, they mourning. They going through it right now. And chiefly when you look up, hey, the real Jews, they living in a ghetto. And one of the definitions for ghetto, when you type it in on Google, I believe it's like second or third definition. It says a part of a city wherein the Jews were made to live. So hey, the real Jews, they in the ghetto. Who's living in the ghettos right now? Who's living in the ghettos right now? I mean, you can't make this up. We living in the worst conditions. The Lord said, Shalaki, let me grab a precept. It's Deuteronomy 28. I mean, the best way to prove that these people are not the real Jews is to ultimately go back to the curses, but there's other ways that we go show to prove these things, right? This is Deuteronomy 28:16. It says, cursed shall thou be in the city. What people is cursed in the city, man? What people is cursed in the city? What people are last hired, first fired? What people are living in the housing authorities? What people are constantly locked up on a day-to-day basis, man? What is it? What people fit these descriptions, man? What people living in the worst conditions in the city? It's not the so-called Jewish man. He owns the media. He owns all the major business corporations. He owns damn Hollywood. He producing the movies. Hey, he owns the music industry. Hey, it's like Interscope Records, Epic Records. What's another one? Epic, Interscope, and it's even damn even damn Motown, man. The so-called white man, the so-called white Jewish man, he owns all of that, man. He owns all of that. He controls what's pushed out. He controls the food that's on the shelves in the Walmarts and all that. He controls the movies that hit the big screen, man. He signs off on all of that. He's in control of everything. He's not in poverty. These people, hey, their whole life is luxury, man. Their whole life is luxury. You go downtown Chicago right now. You look at those big skyscrapers. It's not our people living inside those big skyscrapers. It's not our people enjoying those enjoying the rides on those luxury yachts out there on Lake Michigan. It's not our people living that lifestyle. That's the so-called Jewish man. Amalek, who we know as Amalek. We go prove that. It says, I know thy works and tribulation and poverty, right? So the real Jews, it says they will be in poverty. But thou art rich. How are they rich? How are we rich? Because we have the oracles of God, which is the scriptures, and this wisdom, it can't amount to any amount of money, man. You can't match this wisdom up with any amount of money, especially the Lord's wisdom. You can't, you rich automatically if you got the Lord's wisdom. It says, and we also rich because what? The promises that the Lord made with Abraham through our forefathers, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Those promises, we gonna inherit that. We're gonna inherit the kingdom. We're gonna inherit the other nations, It says, and I know the blasphemy of them which say they are Jews, right? So it's the people on the earth saying that they Jews right now, but we know them as Amalek. That's Amalek. Those are Amalekites, Khazar converts that converted in the 8th century BCE, and they're originally from the land of Europe, but they converted in the 8th century. Before that, they was calling themselves Jewish. They were known as Khazars, right? And then before they was known as Khazars, they was known as Amalek, and we go pull up Amalek. in the book of Genesis. It says, and I know the blasphemy of them which say they are Jews and are not, but are the synagogue of Satan. So the Lord said that these people are the synagogue of Satan, man. You know why? Because they the most evil people on the earth, man. Like it says, the earth is given into the hand of the wicked. Who's controlling everything, man? You know, other than the synagogue of Satan, you know, other than the so-called white Jewish man, he controls everything. Like I just said, you know, he owns the media outlets, the news, Fox News, ABC News, Channel 7 News, Channel 2, you know, all of these different news outlets, the movie industry, everything, man. He controls it all. The international banking system, you know, the Rothschilds, those are so-called Jewish people, you know. So it says these people are the synagogue of Satan, man. And doesn't it say in the book of Job, you know, because they run the earth right now. It says that the earth is given into the hand of the wicked. Does it not? Let me grab that real quick. This is Job 9:24. Also like it, that's Psalms. All right. This is Job chapter 9, verse 24. The earth is given into the hand of the wicked. He covereth the faces of the judges thereof. If not, where and who is he? Right? So, hey, the wicked, the Lord said the earth is given into their hand. And right now, the so-called Jewish man, the Amalekites, these Khazar converts, we know that they are the wicked, you know, because why? They controlling everything. And it says they cover the faces of the judges thereof. Who are the true judges? The true judges are the children of Israel, man. We the true judges. You know, we the true judges of the earth. We the righteous rulers of this earth. The Lord said he made the world for our sake. You know. Salakia, let me grab this real quick. In the book of 2nd Esdras, the 6th chapter. Right? And I want verse... Salakia. I'm gonna just jump down to verse 55, right? 54, it says, and after these, Adam also, whom thou madest Lord of all thy creatures, of him come we all. So, right, we all come out of Adam, and the people also whom thou hast chosen. And who is the chosen of the Lord? Those are the Israelites. You know, as you read, you could read about that in what is that? Amos. You got Amos 3:1, Joel 2:27. You got 1 Chronicles 16:13. You know, so hey, that's 3 witnesses right there. It says, all this have I spoken before thee, O Lord, because thou madest the world for our sake. So the Lord made the world for the children of Israel's sake, man. You know, the world was created for us to rule it in the Lord's name, man. You know, so, but the Lord gave the earth to them because, hey, we couldn't keep the covenant, you know, and also this is the time of the Gentiles, you know, because the Lord promised Esau that he would inherit the fatness of the earth. Let's go to that real quick. And Esau is inheriting the fatness of the earth, you know, chiefly through Amalek, but you got other seed, you got the rest of the seed of Esau. They doing real good for themselves, I guess. You know, they in rulership, you know, right now. Because like it says in Genesis, Salakia, let me grab this real quick. I mean, not in Genesis, but in 2nd Esdras. Going back to chapter 6, it says, this 2nd Esdras 6:9, for Esau is the end of the world. Salakia, for Esau is the end of the world, and Jacob is the beginning of it that followeth, right? So that shows that Esau is going to be the last person in rulership when the end of the society comes. And then it says we are the beginning of it that followeth. Meaning what? We coming into our rulership after the Lord take them out of theirs. Right? And the Lord said that Esau would inherit the fatness of the earth. Salakia. Let's go to the book of Genesis, chapter 27, and verse 39. Right? It says, Genesis 27:39, and Isaac his father answered and said unto him, behold, thy dwelling shall be the fatness of the earth. Meaning what? Your dwelling is the fatness of the earth. Meaning what? You go damn near conquer this whole world. You gonna have the fatness of the earth. All the best parts of the world, you gonna have control of it. You know, and doesn't Esau have control of it? Hey, even the land of Ham, which is considerably one of the most fruitful parts of the earth, Esau is in control of that, man. Hey, the land of Ham is Africa. You know, who is Africa named after? Leo Scipios Africanus. You know, he named Africa after himself, man. And it says they call the land after their own names. You know, that's Psalms 49:11, right? But it says, thy dwelling shall be the fatness of the earth and of the dew of heaven from above, right? So it says they dwelling shall be the fatness of the earth. They go be in rulership of the whole damn world, man. You know? And chiefly Amalek is going to be on top of all the other tribes of the Edomites. You know, Amalek is going to be the chiefest of them all. You know, and we're going to read about that. But first, let's see who Amalek is. Amalek is the grandson of Esau. You know, the so-called white Jew today, the Jewish man, he's of Amalek descent, right? He's an Amalekite. This is the book of Genesis, chapter 36 and verse 12. It says, and Timnah was concubine to Eliphaz, Esau's son, right? And she bare Eliphaz Amalek. So Amalek is Esau's grandson. These were the sons of Adah, Esau's wife, right? So now we know who Amalek is, right? Let's go to the book of Numbers to get the prophecy on Amalek, to see what the Lord said about Amalek, right? Numbers chapter 24. This is the book of Numbers chapter 24 and verse 20, right? It says, I'm gonna start at verse 17 to get the context. It says, I shall see him, but not now. I shall behold him, but not nigh. There shall come a star out of Jacob, right? A star meaning what? Like a ruler, you know, like a you know, like how these stars is, not like the stars in the sky, but like a Hollywood star. You know, somebody with great power, somebody with great authority. That's talking about YAHWEH. This is a prophecy of YAHWEH. It says, there shall come a star out of Jacob, right? And a scepter shall rise out of Israel, and shall smite the corners of Moab and destroy all the children of Sheph. So right, they're talking about what YAHWEH is going to come do in his second coming, how he's going to conquer all of the nations. Like it says in the book of Revelation, he had many crowns upon his head. Meaning what? He was going by nation to nation, conquering all of these different nations, man. You know, and when you conquer a nation back in the ancient world, you would take the crown off that king's head. You know, and you would have that crown as your own. You would have that crown as your own now, showing that you conquered that nation, right? So that's what it's talking about right now. It says, and Edom, verse 18, and Edom shall be a possession. Seir also shall be a possession for his enemies, and Israel shall do valiantly. So it said we go possess Edom, right? And Mount Seir, meaning they dwelling place, right? It says, out of Jacob shall come he that shall have dominion, and shall destroy him that remaineth of the city, right? That's talking about YAHWEH as well, because he's going to have that dominion, right? But verse 20, because notice it already said Edom in verse 18, but in verse 20 it separated Amalek from Edom, because why? Amalek is the chiefest of the Edomites, right? This is Numbers chapter 25 and verse 20. It says, and when he looked on Amalek, he took up his parable and said, Amalek was the first of the nations. What does it mean that Amalek was the first of the nations? Meaning what? He's at the top right now. He at the top of the food chain. You know, Amalek, he's above all the other nations right now, because why? He has he has all the global currency through the international banking systems. You know, like we just named earlier, he owns all the media. He controls what gets put out. He controls what people know. You know, he controls, you know, the damn school systems and what the children are learning. And also Amalek was a part of the transatlantic slave trade, man. The so-called white Jews, the Jewish man, they funded all the labor. I mean, not all the labor, all the lumber, you know, for the ships to get made, man. For the ships to get created, for the rest of the so-called white man, you know, for the rest of the for the Edomites to go over into the land of Ham, which is Africa, and swipe us up and bring us over here, man. You know, and that's how we ended up over here. Amalek funded all of that, you know. It says, and when he looked upon Amalek, he took up its parable and said, Amalek was the first of the nations, but his latter end shall be that he perish forever. And why did the Lord say that? Because the Lord said he would have war with Amalek from generation to generation, man. And the Lord is still having war for Amalek, because that generation to generation means forever, right? This is Exodus chapter 17 and verse 16. For he said, because the Lord have sworn that the Lord will have war with Amalek from generation to generation. And the Lord is that war is still continuing on today. You know, because why? They stole our identity. They stole the identity of his chosen people and put themselves in that same put themselves in that in our place, removed us from out of our place and put themselves in it, you know, and proclaim themselves to be God's chosen people, you know. So we gonna get into some cuts on how to cut that these people are, you know, now that we know who they are, you know, we gonna get into disproving how they are not the true children of Israel, right? So we gonna go to the book of Luke, because the first way to cut them is with the prophecy, right? First way to cut them is with the prophecy. So this is the book of Luke, chapter 21 and verse 24, right? This is YAHWEH speaking. You know, he's given a prophecy of basically 70 AD, what's going to happen, you know, and what's going to happen in those times, right? It says, and they shall fall by the edge of the sword, right? This is talking about the Roman persecution, and shall be led away captive into all nations, right? So didn't that happen? They came, they stormed Jerusalem. The Romans, they came, they stormed Jerusalem, was slaying us. We fled down into Africa, you know, and then we was getting led away captive into all nations. You know, years and years later, the transatlantic slave trade happened. We still getting led. We got led away captive into more nations. You know, into so-called America now. You know, but it said we was getting led away captive into all nations, and Jerusalem, this is the key point right here, and Jerusalem shall be trodden down of the Gentiles until the time of the Gentiles be fulfilled, right? And when you go into that word Gentiles in the Greek, it means nations. So it says Jerusalem is going to be inhabited by other nations until their time is fulfilled, until the Lord, you know, sends YAHWEH to crack that sky, redeems us from out of this captivity, drops us off back in the wilderness, and then we go chiefly go and take our homeland back, man. You know, but there's gonna be a lot of war and all that over there in that time. You know, if you I might do a video on that, Lord willing, if I could do a cold cut on what's gonna happen in the war to end all wars, right? And then chiefly after World War III, about the final battle, which you could read about in Ezekiel, the 38th and 39th chapter, right? But it said Jerusalem is going to be trodden down by the Gentiles. Right now, you have a people that's in the land of Israel right now that don't belong over there. Like the Lord said, a bastard shall dwell in Ashdod, right? Who is that bastard? That bastard, that bastard is the other nations. That bastard is the Edomites, you know. They said they shall dwell in Ashdod. Ashdod is Palestine, you know, and that's what they over there fighting over now. There, you got the Amalekites, which are the so-called Israelis or the Jewish man, right? And they fighting against the Palestinians, you know. And Palestine is a part of Israel, you know. Chiefly that whole landmass we were supposed to conquer from the Nile to the Euphrates. You can read about that in Genesis chapter 15, and I believe verse 18 on down, right? The Lord promised us through Abraham the Nile to the Euphrates, right? So chiefly all of that land would be ours, you know. So they fighting over it, and it don't belong to neither one of them, right? And this is how you prove that, you know. This is how you justify, you know. This is how you back up what YAHWEH said about Jerusalem being trodden down by the Gentiles, right? Because you still see this today. Jerusalem is still trodden down by the Gentiles. This is the book of Ezekiel chapter 36, verse 2. It says, thus saith the Lord God, because the enemy have said against you, aha, even the ancient high places are ours in possession, right? So right now the enemies, the other nations, they possess our ancient high places. You know, they got Bethlehem, they got Telerod over there. They got all of our ancient high places. They got Jerusalem, you know, all of our ancient high places, you know, where the land where our temple was and all of that, where the ruins of our temple is, all the ancient high places, they possess all that right now, you know, chiefly through the 1948 Balfour Declaration. You know, the 1948 Balfour Declaration is when America signed they basically signed a declaration, you know, to give that land to the so-called Khazars, or as we know as the Jewish man. They gave that land of Israel to them to inhabit and to have, you know. Does it we gonna get into that, but does it say that America is gonna be the one to bring them back into their homeland? That's not what the prophecies say. The prophecies say that the Lord is gonna be the one to give the Israelites, to put the Israelites back in their homeland. You know, we gonna get that after this. This is Ezekiel 36 and verse 3. It says, "Therefore prophesy and say, Thus saith the Lord God, because they have made you desolate and swallowed you up on every side, that ye might be a possession unto the residue of the heathen, and ye are taken up in the lips of talkers and are in the infamy of people. Therefore, ye mountains of Israel, hear the word of the Lord God." I'm going to jump down to verse 5, right? This is how you prove that those people over there are the children of Esau. Because the Lord said this, "Therefore, thus saith the Lord God, surely in the fire of my jealousy have I spoken against the residue of the heathen and against all Idumea." Idumea is how you say Edom in the Greek, right? The Idumea is Edom in the Greek. And who is Edom? Edom is the Edomites. Edom is the children of Esau. Let's go back to Genesis chapter 36, just to prove that, you know, so brothers won't just be thinking I'm winging it. This is Genesis 36 and 8. "Thus dwelt Esau in Mount Seir." Esau is Edom, right? Just to prove that, because, you know, you'll have brothers all in the comments like, you know, brother, you winging it, all that. Nah, brother, you know. But it says, "Therefore, thus saith the Lord God, surely in the fire of my jealousy have I spoken against the residue of the heathen and against all Idumea," right, Edom. It says, "which have appointed my land into their possession." So they appointed the land of the Lord, you know, which is Israel, into their own possession, man. You know, it says, "with the joy of all their heart, with despiteful minds, to cast it out for a prey," right? So it says they appointed the Lord's land into their own possession. This is how you prove that those that what YAHWEH said is correct. You know, what he said was going to come to happen, because you got two prophecies that just backed it up. And this is how you prove that those people over there are not the real Jews. Because why? It just said Idumea appointed that land into their possession. That means those are Edomites over there, man. You know, chiefly Amalekites. You know, but that would still make them Edomites. You know, because Amalek is the grandson of Esau, right? So another way to cut them, you know, to show that to show that they're not the real Jews, is another prophecy that we could go to, still in Ezekiel. I'm on Ezekiel chapter 28. Ezekiel chapter 28 and verse 25, right? And you got to keep in mind, when I'm reading this, you got to keep in mind what's going on over there in Palestine or Israel right now. You know, right now you got even in Chicago, we seeing a whole bunch of Palestinians. They marching. You got Israelis, so-called Israelis. They marching. You know, they marching for everything that's going on over there, because it's constant war. It's constant war over there. You know, you got the Israelis versus the Palestinians, and Palestinians versus the Israelis. They dropping bombs on each other, fighting back and forth, you know. So it's not no peace over there. But the Lord said when the true children of Israel come back home, they go dwell in peace, you know. So this is how you know that they're not the true children of Israel. And this is the precept to use. This is Ezekiel chapter 28 and verse 25. It says, "Thus saith the Lord God, when I shall have gathered the house of Israel from the people among whom they are scattered, and shall be sanctified in them in the sight of the heathen," right? So the Lord said when he gathered the children of Israel, you know, from where they scattered, right, and put them back in their homeland, right? It says, "and shall be sanctified in them in the sight of the heathen, then shall they dwell in the land that I have given to my servant Jacob, right? The land of Israel, right? So the so-called, from the Nile River to the Euphrates, what the Lord promised to Abraham. Verse 26, here go the cut. And they shall dwell safely therein. So if the Lord truly placed y'all over there, and y'all the children of Israel, which the Lord didn't place y'all over there, America placed y'all over there through the Balfour Declaration, right? But if y'all was really placed over there by the Most High, why y'all not dwelling safely right now? Why is it constant controversy over there between you and the Palestinians? You know, the true children of Israel, hey, after the Lord didn't put in all that work and put us back in our homeland, it say we gonna dwell safely. It say we gonna dwell safely. Hey, all the heathens, they ain't gonna buck up against us because they gonna be under us. We gonna have our foot on their neck, man. You know, and the Lord is gonna make sure of that. So why the Lord, if y'all the children of Israel, why is not this happening right now? Why is y'all having war over there? Why y'all got these little battles and these damn y'all steady sending Scud missiles and rockets back and forth to each other? Why would y'all have to build an iron dome over Israel? Why would y'all have to build an iron dome over Israel just to protect yourself from the Palestinian rockets? If y'all the true children of Israel and y'all got the Lord's protection. Don't make sense to me. That's because y'all not the true children of Israel. So Ezekiel 28 and 26 again, it says, and they shall dwell safely therein, and shall build houses and plant vineyards. Yea, they shall dwell with confidence when I have executed judgments upon all those that despise them round about them, and they shall know that I am YAHWEH their God, right? So it said, the Lord gonna execute judgments of all that's round about them, right? So you can't get over that, man. Can't get around that. The Lord said the true Israelites, when they get back into their homeland, they will dwell safely. So like, I'm trying to think. Thought it was another one that I wanted. See if I can find it real quick. Bear with me. Thought it was Jeremiah 33. It might not be that though. It's alright if I can't find it. I'll just move to the next point. Yeah, I'll probably just move to the next point. But yeah, I'm just moving to the next point. But so yeah, we were saying, I was saying that yeah, I was bringing out how they got over there through the 1948 Balfour Declaration. It ain't, wow, if the Lord brought y'all over there, why did the Lord ain't put y'all over there? America put y'all over there, you know, through an agreement, right? So this is because chiefly the prophecy says that the Lord would be the one to put us over there, you know, through the salvation of the chariots, you know, YAHWEH cracking that sky ultimately, you know, and then us getting dropped down in that second wilderness. You can read about this in Ezekiel chapter 20 and 33. It says, as I live, saith the Lord, right? As I live, saith the Lord God, surely with a mighty hand and with a stretched out arm and with fury poured out will I rule over you, and I will bring you out from the people, right? So the Lord is going to be the one to gather us out from the people, not America, not Babylon the Great, right? Since when is the Lord working with Babylon the Great, right? It says, and will gather you out of the countries wherein ye are scattered with a mighty hand and with a stretched out arm and with fury poured out, right? So the Lord said he will gather us up out of the countries where we scattered at, man. Not America, you know. And chiefly those people, they was never scattered. When was they scattered? When did they go into slavery on ships? That's another point, man. The curses. You know, if we could just easily go back to the curses and just debunk how all of these Israelis claim to be the true children of Israel, because y'all don't fit none of these curses, man. Y'all don't fit not one of them. This is the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 28. And I'm going to just hit this one curse, Deuteronomy 28 and 68. And the Lord shall bring thee into Egypt again with ships. And we know that Egypt, you know, it symbolizes slavery, right? So when did they go into slavery on slave ships? When did that happen to the so-called white Jewish man? When did he go into slavery on slave ships? It never happened. Never in history. But you know who did go into slavery on slave ships? The so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, man. You know, the true children of Israel, right? It says, by the way whereof I spake unto thee, thou shalt see it no more again, and there you shall be sold to your enemies. So when was they sold to their enemies, man? You know, don't bring up the little fake little Holocaust or whatever, because, brothers, I mean, some people don't even believe that it really happened. You know, and then if it did happen, it was just white on white crime. Just white on white crime. It don't really matter. Y'all wasn't sold into all nations. Y'all didn't have to go on those slave ships and get taken. Y'all didn't get stolen from y'all homeland and then went on slave ships and got sold to other people to be their slaves for hundreds and hundreds of years, man. That didn't happen to y'all, you know. But and it says, this is the chief part right here. The last part of the verse says, and there you shall be sold to your enemies for bondmen and bondwomen, right? And no man shall buy you. And that buy in the Hebrew means Canaan, right? It says no man means Canaan, meaning redeem. Meaning ain't nobody gonna be able to redeem you up out of this captivity that you're going in, because it's of a divine order that you're going into this captivity. So ain't no mortal man gonna be able to deliver you up out of it. So last time I checked, America is mortal men. So how can they sign a little document, you know, make an order, sign a little document, and get y'all up out of the situation that y'all in and put y'all back in y'all homeland, when it just said no man shall buy you, meaning no man shall redeem you? You know, hey, ain't nobody redeemed us yet. We still in the land of our captivity. We still in the land of our of where we got stolen, and brought to, you know. And the last point that you can make, because I didn't want to make this too long, the last point that you can make is basically the color scriptures. You know, now we know, I made this the last point because this should be the last point that you go to. I mean, sometimes, it'd be the last point that I go to. You know, sometimes it might be the first, but chiefly, sometimes I make it the last point, because the real Jews, we do come in all different colors. You know, you could be like, think about Blake Griffin. He's a Levite, so-called Haitian, right? His father is dark as me, probably even darker, right? Blake Griffin is light-skinned because his father had a child with a white woman. So Blake Griffin, he's light-skinned, made him come out in a lighter tone. Blake Griffin's son, his mother is white, you know, because Blake Griffin slept with a white woman. But that doesn't mean that Blake Griffin's son is not an Israelite now. You know, color has nothing to do with it. You know, but so that's why I make color scriptures my last go-to. But at the same time, you know, color does matter in the Bible, though, because it says the true children of Israel, hey, we was black into the ground, Jeremiah 14:2. You know, Song of Solomon 1:5. Solomon said he was black because the sun had looked upon him, right? But the Lord said his heritage comes as a speckled bird, right? This is the book of, what is this, Jeremiah 9, I believe. Salakia. I think that's what I want. My heritage. Salakia. It might be Jeremiah 7. I could be tweaking. I think it's Jeremiah 7. Salakia, bear with me. If I can't find it, I'll probably just get some other ones. I thought it was Jeremiah 9. Bear with me. I'm starting to get mad that I can't find it. Hold on. Or is it 25? Salakia. Bear with me. No, I can't find it. But the Lord said his heritage is under him as a speckled bird. You know, meaning what? We all come in different colors. Oh, here you go. I found it. This is Jeremiah 12 and 9. I'm tweaking. Thought it was the 9th chapter. This is that's the spirit though. All praise to the Most High. This is Jeremiah 12 and 9. It says, "My heritage is unto me as a speckled bird." Right? The birds round about round about are against her. Come ye assemble all the beasts of the field, come to devour. So what is a speckled bird? A speckled bird it comes in all different colors. You know, and we are the Lord's heritage. We are the Lord's people, right? So it says his heritage as a speckled bird. Meaning what? You got some people that's light skinned, some Israelites that's dark skinned, some Israelites that may look like Edomites, you know, but what they father's lineage goes back to the seed of Israel. You know, you got some you know, we light skin, dark skin, caramel skin, white skin, you know. So we as a speckled bird, but chiefly, you know, we are a brown skinned people. You know, we not a red skinned people, you know, so that's when you could go to the color scriptures, you know. Like let's go to Lamentations, right? I'm gonna grab this and I'm gonna close out. It's the book of Lamentations, chapter 4 and verse 8. It says their visage is blacker than the coal, right? Meaning what? Their visage, the way that they look, their appearance, right, is blacker than the coal. They are not known in the streets. Their skin cleaveth to their bones. It is withered. It has become like a stick, right? So it says our visage, our appearance is blacker than a coal, man. You know, even Job said, you know, his skin is black upon him, man. You know, that's Job 30 and 30. His skin is black upon him and his bones are burned with heat. You know, so let me grab one more. And chiefly, if the angels, let me grab this. If the angels are dark-skinned men, then how, why would the people that they protecting look completely opposite of them? You know, why would they look like Amalek? You know, when the angels look like the people that they protecting? It's like, yeah, trying to think of what I was. Oh yeah, Daniel. Let's get the one in Daniel. Right, Daniel 10. It's Daniel 10 and 5. It says, "Then I lifted up my eyes and looked, and behold, a certain man clothed in linen, whose loins were girded with fine gold of Uphaz," right? His body also was like the beryl, and his face as the appearance of lightning, and his eyes as lamps of fire, and his arms and his feet like in the color to polished brass, right? And what color is polished brass, man? You know, brass is a brown color, man. Like brothers always use the analogy of a penny, even though a penny is copper, you know. But hey, Salaki, I got something to compare it with, right? My menorah is brass, right? what skin tone matches? Does not my skin tone kind of match this? You know, is not my skin tone the color of brass, right? So that shows right there. Even the angels, YAHWEH, and the children of Israel, we all liken them to the color of polished brass, man. You know, we all come to those in that brownish color, right? So with that, I want to bid Israel a hearty shalom. Lord willing, you was edified on how to prove that these people are not the real Jews and that we are. You know, like I said, you could go to the curses. Chiefly, I would go to the prophecies. You know, like we brought out in Ezekiel 36, Luke 21 and 24, and also any prophecy that says that the Lord will be the one to place them into Israel. You know, so and also the color scriptures. You know, you could use that and the curses as well, if I ain't say that already. But all honor and glory to the Most High Yahweh Bashem Yahushua. Lord, when he's edified, Lord, when I come back with more videos, shalom.